Hello, folks. Sorry about that. Thomas Metal thought up. We're live. We're doing nut beers tonight, specifically peanut butter, but we had a little problem. People couldn't find it. Good reason not to do it. No, nut brown ale wouldn't work because that's just a style of beer that people see has nutty qualities. It's not made with nuts, so that wouldn't pan out. But we're doing peanut butter beer. Then some people told me we can't find peanut butter whatsoever. I said, well, we can. I told Michael Komarov we can compromise and any kind of nut flavored beer, like the Rogue Hazelnut beer. He couldn't find it, so he couldn't join. So tonight I'm in Louisiana, and I have peanut butter milk stout from Left Hand Brewing, and it was kind of expensive to me, $1.99 for this can. I don't know if that's a great deal, but I said, well, heck. I did see the Rogue Hazelnut beer. It says best by September 9th, 2020. So got that going. There is a production date, but it's illegible because of the way it was printed. Now, Whiskey Scout is over there in Kansas, and he has an interesting peanut butter porter.
I've had a couple of offerings from Sagatuck Brewing before. This is a peanut butter porter. It's 5.7%, and it's just got one date, so I assume it's a born-on date of 12/6/2019.
Yeah,
I don't know what else to say. It's made in Michigan, and I've never had this before. I got a couple of bottles left down there of a couple of different stouts, but let's hope this is better. I've not been impressed. I can't say one of them was bad, but the other two stouts I had were just average. So let's hope this one's a little better.
Not bad, but not too good. Okay. Now, Bumpy Road has something, I would imagine.
Well, I'll show the can art first because this is from Collective Arts Brewing, and they're known for having local artists make can art for their stuff. So there is nut in this beer.
Okay. And Bumpy Road's from New Hampshire, by the way, folks.
Pretty darn crazy. So this thing is called All the Things. And what it is a milk stout brewed with banana, chocolate, pistachio, vanilla, cardamom, and cream.
Whoa, that's a potpourri.
But there is pistachio in there. So we got the nut covered.
That's quite potpourri.
Okay. Now, John is down in Georgia, and he's going to show us what he's got.
All right. I went ahead and poured it. It looks really pretty in the glass there. What I've got is a beer from Terrapin Brewing Company, which was originally out of Athens, Georgia. They still had the brewery in Athens, Georgia, but Terrapin has been bought out by Miller Coors. So the distribution for their beers has become a lot better since 2016. This is the Liquid Bliss. It's a chocolate peanut butter porter. It is 6.1% alcohol by volume. Not sure what the IBUs are. As you can see on the label there, you've got the peanuts right there on the label. Really cool can design. I love the little drippy. I love the can design. And it says actually on the top, it says Scrum Diddly Umptious right there. Scrum Diddly Umptious. I just think it's a cool can. I love this beer. I've had it before. But there's your pour.
We're gonna get back. We're gonna get back to you. I'm just going through, and then we'll look at it. Okay, now Eric.
No, absolutely, yeah. So very pretty beer. Obviously we'll come back around. I'll talk about it a little bit, but a beer that a lot of people should be able to get because of the buyout from Terrapin and Miller Coors. So,
that'll be try some of their beers finally. Won that.
Cheers, guys.
Carbonation there. I had to pour this. I had two of these. I drank one of them. Here's the last one, and I had to pour it like straight down the middle of the glass because the first time I did it and I tilted the glass and then straightened it out, it didn't create much of a head. So that one's doing pretty good. This is from the 12 Guns Brewing Company. They are in the town of Brittle, Rhode Island. I think they opened last year. This is their Nutty Professor peanut butter. Literally, all the website says is peanut butter stout. This guy is 7.5% alcohol by volume without an age statement on the can, but I assume that it's not that old, being a brewery with only 3 fermenters and bright tank, so very small with 8 beers on tap rotating. Cool stuff.
Well, we want to welcome in Brian, who's been doing beer reviews for many years on YouTube. He's in what state are you in, Brian?
I am in Ohio.
Okay, excellent.
Am I all? Yep. I'm unmuted everywhere. Okay, good.
Well, welcome to the show.
Nice to meet you, Brian.
Nice to meet everybody. Sorry I'm late, but this I was kind of a last minute addition. Thanks for having me.
That's okay. Anytime.
Glad to have you, Brian. Cheers.
Now, I'll go back to myself since I kind of originate. I have yet to try that peanut butter porter. Okay, now, so I have the peanut butter milk stout, and I think I had John and Neely's beer once, but I could be mistaken because Terrapin puts out so many products you can't hardly keep up. You know?
That's true. Yeah.
Brian didn't get to show his beer.
Oh yeah, sorry. I'm not going to stay on past an hour because look, I didn't get to sleep well last night. A parish councilwoman called me at 20 minutes after 10 last night, saying, "I apologize for calling so late." I'm like, "Well, you woke me up." Yeah, but you probably have county commissioners where you live, but we have parish. Mm-hmm. We don't have counties; we have parishes. But Brian, I'm sorry. I apologize. That's
all right.
Too.
Mine is still in
tonight, but.
Yeah, I'm still trying to chill mine down. So, are we doing this all at the same time? I don't know exactly what the format is.
Just tell us what it is, and you'll notice the format as we go around.
Okay. Well, I actually ended up with 3, but I'll start with the Nut Brown Ale, which is it was either my first or second beer review here on YouTube. It's from Mount Carmel. It's a local brewery. It's on the it's east of me. It's technically east of Cincinnati, and it's Carmel. There's only 1 A, not 2, so it's not caramel. So, but it was one of the first craft brewers in the 21st century, I guess you could say, because there was some in the 90s, but none of them made it out of the 90s.
But does it use actual nuts?
Well, that is a good question.
Yeah, because that may not qualify. But what about the other 2? See, Brian just went to the store. I was talking.
Yeah. So the other one's a hazelnut, and then the other one is Nutcase from Listerman.
Okay, so you might want to bring in the ones that use actual nuts. Okay, so now I'm gonna go first, and I'm not gonna drag it out. Believe me. So here's the. I'll give you some real fast information on the Left Hand Brewing's beer, and I'm gonna update the comments. It says we took the pure milk chocolate bliss of our classic milk stout and added peanut buttery goodness. Stout brewed with peanut, 6% alcohol, 25 IBUs. They use 2-row crystal chocolate, Munich, rolled oats, flake barley, and roasted barley. CTZ and Goldings are the hops. They also add lactose and peanuts. So it doesn't actually say peanut butter. But anyway, so here is the, this will give Brian time to chill his beer. Here's the beige head, and it's a very dark brown, but you can maybe see some, oh, let me highlight myself. Sorry about that. Like I said, I'm very much out of it today. But I got enough energy to drink this beer, let me assure you. You can see a little brown maybe here. The nose, oh my goodness. This is craziness. It's intense chocolate. It's intense dark barley, and it's intense peanuts. I mean, it smells like a Reese's peanut butter cup, okay? But probably probably bolder than that. So, woof. Let's go with the taste. Cheers to everyone.
Cheers.
Cheers. Little bitterness there on the back end. Well, like most beers, it smells better than it tastes. I was commenting about that the other day in a solo review. I said, you ever notice how beers smell better than they taste? But anyway, it's got some peanuts, of course. It's got the dark roasted malt. It's got that lactose, that creaminess. Mouthfeel. I would call that just slightly high medium. Certainly not heavy, just slightly high medium. The finish is medium dry. Maria Devon taught me how to say that. Medium dry. And I thought, that's brilliant. I never thought of using that terminology. Stout brewed with peanuts and natural. Listen to this. Stout brewed with peanuts and natural flavors added. Okay, whatever those are. 6%, 25, last sip. I'm enjoying it. I'm fading fast. I didn't get enough sleep. I'm losing it. But as I fade out, it's a pleasant fade because I'm enjoying this product. Now, where am I? Where do I go? Where do I go? Who do I turn to? Now, here's Robert, and he's going to tell us about the peanut butter can.
Well, it poured with about a half-inch head on it, but it's since collapsed. It's just got a little bit of a ring around the edge of the glass. It is dark through and through, but it's more the consistency of like a Coca-Cola. It's not thick. It's not thick. It's just kind of dark. That sounds strange, but that's the best way I can describe it. I mentioned it was 5.7%. And I want to read the back just quickly because it leads into, after I tasted it, what I wish I'd have read it first. A classic porter rich with delicious harmony of peanut butter. Open the top of this flavorful beer for a silky, smooth drinking experience. This is the key phrase, no spoons required. And it also says ale with natural color and caramel color added. So enjoy within 6 months of packaging date, which is 12/6, so that we're good till June 6th, so we're well within the date. Reason I say that is, first smell, Captain Crunch, peanut butter crunch. Clearly, there's no question. If you've ever ate peanut butter crunch, and I ate loads of it as a child, it is exactly what it is. And I haven't had peanut butter crunch in 10, 15 years easily. I don't eat it. I haven't ate it in years. That is straight what it is. But that's the only thing I get. And literally, that's the only thing I get on the nose and in the taste.
Cheers.
Well, those are good.
Cheers.
It drinks fine. I mean, it doesn't drink badly. There's just ever so slight of bitterness to it. Don't notice the 5.7%, but it's like drinking liquid peanut butter crunch. Literally.
Oh, that's my thing. That is my thing.
Yeah. So that was the easiest review I've ever done. This is peanut butter crunch in a can.
Keep it crunchy.
Yeah, without the crunch.
I would love it. Now up to New Hampshire.
So the beer once again is from Collective Arts Brewing Company. They're originally out of Canada. They have opened up a brewery in Wisconsin, which this one, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, which this one does come from. It's called All the Things. It is a milk stout that's brewed with bananas, chocolate, pistachio, vanilla, cardamom, and cream. It's also in collaboration with Southern Grist Brewing Company out of Nashville, Tennessee. 7.2% ABV on this one. So this is not a slouch on a milk stout. Never had it before. Don't really know what to expect, but I mean, we'll see. I like pistachios. Sometimes I don't know if I prefer the ones with the shells on them still, or if the deshelled ones, but the deshelled pistachios, when they're like salted and stuff, they get too salty. But this pours with a nice kind of mocha colored head, some medium bubbles in there. It is a pretty damn dark brew. It's got like the caramel to brown notes in the reservoir of my glass. This thing's pretty much going on black. The aromas, holy crap! But I got banana right off the bat. Banana and chocolate. It's like a chocolate covered banana.
That sounds so good.
This thing is like, wow. This thing is just freaking amazing with the aromas. Whether or not I'm going to pick up any pistachio in this, I don't know. But it's pretty much banana and chocolate mostly. A little bit of a roasty nose in there as well. All right, let's just go in for the first swig. So cheers.
Cheers to you. Was it expensive?
The flavors are amazing too. With the it's just like the aromas. It's a lot of banana and chocolate. There is a light like touch of a pistachio in there. I love pistachio ice cream. Not my favorite ice cream, but I still love it. So there's that little slight touch of a pistachio in there. Very banana and chocolate forward. Price range on this one, I don't know because I didn't get a receipt when I ordered it.
Okay.
I'm gonna say I think Collective Arts is typically, if I was to get like a 4-pack, I only picked up the single can just for this Wildcard Wednesday, so I didn't buy the full 4-pack.
Peanut butter.
I'm thinking, damn. The Collective Arts, I think, generally runs anywhere from $12 to $18 for like a 4-pack. So I would say 7.2% ABV, everything that's thrown in there. This might be like a $13 to $14 12-pack. So it's not. I wouldn't think this is too pricey.
Well, it sounds like you have a good one. So can we jump over to John and Neely down in Georgia?
Yeah, creamy mouthfeel and kind of, the lower side medium carbonation. Yep.
Okay.
You can do so.
I got to catch up on these comments. Okay. John and Neely from Georgia, the non-lockdown state. Thank you.
All right. Yes, which I'm enjoying very, very much. Okay. So the Terrapin, Liquid Bliss. This is the chocolate peanut butter porter, 6.1% alcohol by volume. I've been drinking this, drinking on this for the last couple hours. I've had a few. This is probably my third out of the 6-pack. As you can see, the head, there's some nice lacing there. The beer itself is dark brown to black. Nice little creamy little head left behind. Peanut butter, chocolate. It smells like a Reese's peanut butter cup. Maybe a little bit more peanut butter than chocolate. It smells amazing. Now, this is one of those, it says, from Diddlyumptious. It's, the clever marketing. Of course, Terrapin Brewing Company, or Beer Co., has been owned by Miller Coors for the last few years. This is a very fresh can. The best by date is August 2nd, it looks like. It's hard to tell, but that's what it looks like. It actually says on the side of the label, malt beverage with natural and artificial flavors. So 61%. That's not coming from
Sorry
me.
about that.
So there's nothing that's jumping out as artificial. It does say malt beverage, artificial, excuse me, flavors. This is a great porter. It's got the peanut butter flavors are on point. The chocolate flavors are on point. 6.1% alcohol is masked exceptionally well. It's bready. You know you're drinking a beer. Got some nice toasted malt going on. A little bit of chocolate. That peanut butter's coming through. Although I think it's artificial peanut butter flavor, it's still peanut butter flavor, and it tastes good to me, so it's hard to complain. It's a damn good beer. I really like this. If you like peanut butter, if you like Reese's peanut butter cups, if you like beer, you're not going to go wrong with this. It's a winner. And the bitterness with this is very, very low. There's a little bit of bitterness on the back end, but it's not a balanced beer in that sense. It's definitely malt forward, chocolate, peanut butter, a little bit of vanilla as well. It's a dessert lover's beer. If you like Reese's peanut butter cups, if you like chocolate, peanut butter, that type of thing, you're going to love this. So it's a winner. And I think that Terrapin, I think a lot of people can probably get this now. So look for it, buy it, try it, and let us know what you think. But I think you're going to be happy with it.
Okay.
There you go.
Excellent. Excellent. People are obsessed with donkeys. Okay. Now, people get fixated, you know. Sigmund Freud talked about fixations. Okay. Now, he's chocolate here before.
Yeah. What's going on, people? Well, we got peanut butter. Peanut butter.
No.
Professor, 12 guns, Bristol, Rhode Island. So as you saw, and it's 7.5% alcohol by volume. So as you saw earlier, I did have a pretty substantial head on it. It is gone bye-bye. No way of bringing that back, no matter how much I swirl that glass in. As Robert, the Whiskey Scout, said on his beer, I will agree with that, which is it looks like Coca-Cola. That is exactly the kind of a dark brown, black kind of color, really dark red, but it is basically black on camera. You can see a little bit of that dark red. There is a little bit of some alcohol legs. They're definitely sticking around. And there's a decent amount of carbonation. Nothing to rant and rave about really in the appearance, not really. And the nose is pretty dark chocolate forward. There is some of the peanut butteriness in the background. It's pretty light, and it's taking a backseat to a lot of dark chocolate and roasty malts in the background, some brown bread. There's definitely that molasses kind of a sweetness, but nothing too crazy. Just the big milky dark chocolate style aroma. So let's try that Nutty Professor. Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers to you, Professor.
Cheers, and I guess happy birthday to me today. Ooh.
Oh, happy birthday then, I guess.
Thank you.
Turning 40 years old today. I'm just joking.
40. So yeah, same thing in the flavor as you get in the nose. Mostly that milky dark chocolate flavor. And yes, once again, the peanut butter is taking the back seat to this one. It's very light, and it's underneath the flavor of the chocolate. Not as brown bready as I described in the nose, but The malts are a little bit on the roasty side, and there is a touch of that molasses type sweetness. It's not overly done. I'd say it's a semi-sweet because it does finish sweet initially and dries pretty quickly, but it's not cloyingly or doesn't cut in mouth dry or anything like that. You get left with sort of that essence of peanut butter, and you're getting a little bit of the bitterness from whatever kind of hops they're using. It's more like a earthy kind of a bitterness to it. It's not floral or citrusy in any way. It just is there to balance out some of the sweetness, which I think it's doing. Yeah, so far it's okay. It's not wowing me, knocking my socks off, but it's decent enough. If you like peanut butter and you really want it in your beer, you really would want more in this beer. But so far, it's all right. Not too shabby, I guess.
Okie dokie.
Mm-hmm.
Now, our newest member, and hopefully not just a one-time member.
Yeah.
We got Brian from Ohio.
All right. Yeah.
Welcome.
Yeah. Thanks a lot. Yeah. The Terrapin, I have to admit right up front, every time I see Terrapin Brewing, I think it's out of Maryland. I keep forgetting where that it's not. Because the University of Maryland Terrapin. So that's my problem.
Right. Exactly.
That's nuts.
Yep, that's nuts. All right. So the other two are made with hazelnuts, but I couldn't fully verify them.
Right.
Plus, anyway, but this was this is Listerman's Nutcase. So Listerman started as a homebrew supply store, which they still are, but they started brewing a few years ago. This is 6.8%, 12 ounce, and you had asked about other prices. This is about $12 4 pack. That's in the stores, and if you get stuff at the especially if you bring your own growlers, it's a little bit cheaper. Now, apparently in 2014, and I don't know if you guys can see it, it's quite dark here. Probably can't. I don't have good lighting down here in the basement. Anyway, 2014 Great American Beer Fest, it won third place in the peanut butter porter category. So that's pretty good. So yeah, and they have made some variants of this with raspberry, blackberry jams, Concord grape jelly, several, your peanut butter and jelly, if you will.
Yeah.
So, but I couldn't find any more information about the beer than that, even on their website. So this is the pour. It does have a pretty good head that I poured it a couple reviewers ago. As you can see, it's quite dark. It is all peanut on the nose. There's a very small hint, really, if you inhale very deeply, you'll get a small hint of roasted malt. For a porter, it's pretty mild on bitterness. I'm not sure what the IBUs are. I don't think they're on the bottle, but I'm guessing in the 30 category. And they arrive really late. So you get a lot of peanuts throughout the mouth, and then very late in the back of the mouth, you get a hint of roasted malt bitterness. I don't really discern any hop bitterness there. So it's more toward the stout end of porter, but not that thick. It has a nice kind of a medium mouth feel. It almost feels like it's like the hint of peanut oil, if you will. It's kind of that level of viscosity feel to it. It's not obviously as thick as that. I don't know if anybody's ever had all natural peanut butter and you get the oil on top.
Yes.
Yeah, I love it.
Yep. And but yeah, and it finishes nice and smooth with just a hint of bitterness. And I've been actually, while you guys were talking, eating something fairly spicy with it, and it's a pretty good mixture. But and this is this is a seasonal. It comes out in the winter, so it's probably one of the last few bottles around. But I think it comes out in late February. So, and it's not one that's going to age well. So you can see how well you can kick up the foam a little bit. At 6.8%, it's not going to age, but it does have a nice peanut. There's kind of a hint of chocolate, but not much. Really very mild. It's just mild roasted malt with a mild bitterness at the end.
Okay. Well, that's pretty cool. Now, y'all, I want to say this, everybody. I've been watching Brian's video for the longest time, and Brian knows that because I comment, and I don't make the best comments. People call me out on my comments.
They're all right. Yep.
Well,
I got over 300. I don't think I have as many as you do, though.
no, maybe not. Well, you see, here's the thing about my comments. People call me out on that, like, oh, I tried that beer you had the other day. I really liked it. I'm like, okay, I see that you're mocking me. But when I make comments, I make them the way I talk. You know what I mean? Like the way I write is the way I talk. And that's the way I speak to people. Like somebody might say, oh, look, I have Paradigm Shift lemon seltzer meringue pie beer. And I'll say, oh, I had that once. I liked it. You know, that's just the way I talk, you know. And so when I write, I don't elaborate too much. And then so I'll write that on the comments. And then some people say, you don't make detailed enough comments. But I'm sure if I wrote comments that were detailed, people would say, oh, you're going on and on and on. Thank you. You're boring me to death. So I can't win, I guess. But I don't know what else to say. I'm trying to let people know that I've had the beer. I'm engaged with their channel. And I'm making a comment. Not like I'm ignoring you. I'm ignoring you. You don't count. You know, I try to at least, I don't know, let people know that I'm watching. I'm here. I'm here.
Now I got to go back and look at the comments that you left on mine and see if I was snooty about it.
Yeah, there was one recently. You said that, I forget what beer it was. Was it Great Lakes where you said they used to be able to give them down in Louisiana and you can't anymore? There was some Ohio beer.
Oh yeah, that was a real irritating thing because in 2014 Great Lakes showed up and I was like geared up for it. I was like, Great Lakes, oh yeah. So I was getting all their beers, trying them here, there, everywhere. Man, I turned around one day, gone. I said, oh boy, they didn't sell. You see, that's the problem.
Yeah.
So,
yep. And if you ever see Hopping Frog, it's technically not Cleveland, but it's up there in northern Ohio. They're really good too. Although they tend to have really big beers, Boris, and you know they got a zillion variants of stout.
I don't know about you guys, but here in Kansas, Hopping Frog, that's one of the more expensive beers. It's the Boris, and some of them are really good. I agree. Man, I mean, we're talking some of them $5 to $9 a can. And
yeah,
that gets a little prohibitive.
Yeah.
Yeah. No
even
way.
down
Jack.
here in Cincinnati,
Okay, now,
most of the time we just get the 22-ounce bombers, and it's like $12 and up. You know.
Yeah.
What happened in Louisiana? I can't speak for other states. Oh yeah, that's sickening. Yeah.
Yeah, that when I lived in Tennessee years ago, I had to deal with exactly that. It was all run by the. Yeah. Sorry, I keep cutting you off. I'm sorry.
That's all right. I'm a past master of cutting people off. No, I mean, I'm always for less regulation. That's just, but that's my political viewpoint. I don't demand that other people. Unlike other beer reviewers who are not members of this panel tonight. Anyway,
goodbye, people.
No, just saying, I've had some run-ins with other beer reviewers who will tolerate any viewpoint that is in line with their own viewpoint.
Yep.
But no other. Anyway, here's the part where we give the scores. No, what I was going to say about Louisiana was what happened was we had so many local breweries crop up. Tin Roof in Baton Rouge, Parish Brewing in Lafayette Parish, Dixie with their revitalization, Abita. Well, it chased all the out-of-state beers off the shelf because people just would buy the Louisiana beers. Oh, I want to get this. I want to get that. So then you had things like Great Lakes collecting dust and not selling. So what do you think the stores did? Got rid of it. Common sense.
Yeah.
So it's just the way it goes. I mean, there's too many beers chasing too few people is the real answer. For every 10 delightful craft beers that they sell, the stores sell 10,000 Bud Lights, you know, so there you go. I'm going to score this beer. It's hard. I'm saying 93, but I feel like I'm cheating it some kind of way, but if you start at a 93, I don't think you could go lower than that. 9.3 out of 10. It's a most excellent product. I just like it. They say seasonal. I don't know what that means, seasonal. Like, what's the season for peanut butter beer? But okay, I'm down for it. Anyway, I'm saying 93. But I would never go lower than that. No way. Okay, now, what do you say, Whiskey Scout, for the one I've never had for sure?
Well, it's similar to all the other Sagatech products. They all have a very similar base. It's almost like they have a base they use, and then they include the different flavorings, whether it be Neapolitan or several other choices they've done. It's too watery. It's too single-noted. It's not revolting. It's not something I'd recommend, so I'm going to park it at 75.
Wow.
And that's 2 thumbs down because you did not get that for cheap.
Wow.
I paid $1.89 for it. It wasn't expensive. So
No.
Oh, well, still, but a C, you know.
yeah. Oh yeah. I wouldn't pay 99 for it after I've had it. So
Yeah, I mean, I can get Keystone. I can get Keystone if I go out west somewhere, probably Utah. I can get Keystone Red Label for $14.99 a 30-pack and get a C beer, you know.
right. You better like Captain Crunch. That's all I got to say. That's the only way you're going to find it even
I do like
interesting.
I do like Captain Crunch.
Yeah.
I'm 52 years old and I'm a child. I'm very immature, so I like Captain Crunch.
Is that without the crunch
Better
variant?
watch my
You might actually like it better than me then.
right, because people watch my videos and they're like, immature? No, not you. And I'm like, yeah, I am really. And they're like, yeah, I was being sarcastic. Okay, but I'll be the first to admit it. I'm like Colonel Kurtz in Apocalypse Now. Sometimes I go too far, but I'll be the first to admit it. All right. Anyway, Bumpy Road's going to give us a score.
So I enjoyed this beer. It definitely met up with everything that was listed. I mean, besides cream, but I mean, it does have that kind of nice soft mouthfeel to it. So cream, is it cream or is it lactose? Who knows, really? Cardamom, I don't even know what that tastes like, but I think they use it in tea sometimes. But for most part,
Yeah.
it was a nicely made milk stout. It had some roasty characters to it. The banana and the chocolate definitely forefront. Chocolate covered bananas, banana split ice cream, right there. Pistachio was coming up at the tail end there. Beautiful, beautiful beer, actually. I even gave the remaining can to my wife, and she went, this is good. So that just lets me believe that my 95 out of 100 score is a reasonable score for this beer.
I always like it when women get like really excited about alcohol, but I won't go into that. But anyway,
Yeah, I gave her some Dragon's Milk earlier, and I gave her the rest of this, and she's like, "Why didn't you get me this beer?" And I'm like, well, "This is the only can I had, and it was for tonight's Wildcard Wednesday."
right. And I want people to know. I want people to notice that I made no implications from that statement. I just said I like it, and it's probably due to the fact that I'm very interested in their appreciation of the beverage. So, well, that's good. 95. Unfortunately, a 75, and I've got a 93. Now, John Anile, who is hanging around.
Got it? No, once, twice, sold.
Oh, Anile, I got a. Oh well, you know he has a job where they call him at all kind of hours, driving him crazy.
Yeah.
But that's what you do when you're making the money. But we'll go back to him. I can't say too much because my parish councilwoman called me at 10:20 last night, and she started her conversation with, "I apologize for calling so late." Well, I was sleeping. Now I'm not. Okay, but anyway, but I can't say too much because she did call me back. a lot of people have local government that is totally indifferent to your personal problems. All right. Anyway, now Thomas Metal 75, also known as Massachusetts Beer Reviews, also known as Eric Fraunfelter. He uses many aliases for certain legal reasons, but he's going to tell us about.
I'm hiding from no one.
I'm not really serious.
So I'm kind of in line with I'm literally in line with Whiskey Scout, and I'm thinking similar things. I'm gonna go with him on a 75 on my well. I think I favor my beer. It sounds like a little bit more, but I mean, as a peanut butter beer, it doesn't do it pretty horrible as that. I mean, it's so light and faint. You can obviously tell there's some kind of a roasty nuttiness in the background, and it really does have that Coca-Cola, kind of a flavor, and that fizz on the tongue. Kind of just the flavor just dies and is kind of a little bit on the flat side, even though you're seeing some of that carbonation. To just look at what it did to the head. So the best part about the beer is if you really do like a milky, dark chocolate flavor, look at the beer. This Nutty Professor, look at the beer in that terminology. If they called it more of like a chocolate milk stout, maybe it would do a little bit better. I would give it a couple more points higher, but it's just kind of a little bit dull and thin on the flavor for me to really appreciate it as the beer that it's trying to be, the peanut butter porter. The only other beer that I've tried from them was a California Common, which was way better than this. So this beer is not a tremendously great representation of the 12 Guns Brewing Company. So yeah, 75 out of 100. And I think they charge, I had a variety pack different with those two different beers, this one and that California Common, but I think the 4-pack is like $12.95 for these 12-ounce cans. So there's your price point.
So you bought beta, but you got VHS. Okay.
Something like that. Blu-ray, and I got HD DVD.
Okay, now, Brian.
All right. Well, just in case someone thinks I'm playing favors, yes, I have bought lots of homebrew supplies from Listerman over the years, but it's not going to influence my my judgment. On Untapped, I've given this one a 4.5 out of 5. My minuses are, I would, for the type of beer it wants to be, I think it's a little bitter on the finish. I think it needs to be a little bit smoother. And, the mouthfeel is just kind of, it's kind of, I mean, like I said, it's a medium. It's not, I would want it to be a little thicker in that it's trying to be a peanut butter porter, right? It's not a peanut porter, it's not just the flavors, but they're going for that idea. And I have had a few of the other variants, and, at bottle shares and stuff like that. And they're pretty good. And that might be, I think it was, Whiskey Scout said that they have like a base. And I think this is what Listerman did with this one, because when you get those other ones, the sweetness kicks up a lot. So that may be what they were going for a base. And then when they put in raspberries and all that other stuff, it'll bring the sugar content up a little bit. So there, but yeah, so whatever, I guess that equates to a 90 out of 100 if we want to multiply it out, right? If I did my math right. So, but yeah, I think I can see why it won third place, because it's like you got to be nitpicky. But to win first and second, you got to be nitpicky to knock down beers, and so I think that's why it's a solid bronze medal, definitely. And that is it.
Well, we're going to go back to John Miller. He's probably talking on the phone, but we don't. But Michael's not on tonight. You see, Michael Komarov has got to write these scores down. I'm picking on him, but I did the same thing. But I can't say anything because I was writing down. No, I won't talk about it. Anyway, so when you're doing these flavored malt beverage type things, I think you run the risk. It is a higher chance, a much better probability that you're going to get some kind of bad scores, because it's just a tricky thing. You're taking beer and you're flavoring it with lactose and hazelnut and chocolate like things and peanut butter. Don't you all agree that maybe it's more risky that you have some dogs in there? I don't know. I'm not a scientist.
when you start, I have to agree. It's just like me and Brian said. When you're working with the base and then you start manipulating the flavors, either the flavors work with the base or they don't. And when they don't, it's just there's no rhyme, there's no reason, there's no balance, there's no. It kind of makes for a very dull experience.
Yeah. You have to start with a great base for one thing. If you're going to build a house, you want a good foundation, and then you have to be able to if you're gonna make an extension and it's going to go off this way, and your original base is not going to hold that. You have to be able to make those manipulations to the craft of it to withstand that extra elongation of the side. You know what I mean? So yeah.
Okay, bumpyisms.
Yeah. Well, I can speak as a brewer if you want me to, because I have made
kind of what I was doing too. I was speaking as a brewer.
Yeah. So I mean, I've made variations on various parts of my home brews, and yeah, it's amazing when you think you've got. I've done stuff. I've taken IPAs and putting coffee beans in it, and I've done oak chips and all that other nonsense, but. It's amazing when sometimes you take what you think you've got a good beer and then you change one thing and it's like either goes, it's almost like it's either going to get better and you're like, whoa, or you're like, oh, but yeah, no, I agree with, especially because, we don't know exactly how all these are made. And, obviously this thing doesn't pour like it's got peanut butter, or it probably has peanuts or whatever. And then my dogs are barking, but literally, but part of it too, man, especially hazelnuts or any of that, you can easily get tannins and you can have something that you think is good. And if the alcohol picks up too much of that, it'll be so, bitter and just awful. And yeah, I think you do. I think I agree. You do have less control because you're at, the grains and things, you tend to be mashing and doing different stuff. But especially if you're going to do something in secondary, if you don't have something washed right or let's say you do coffee beans or whatever, and there's some chemical on there you don't know about, and then there goes your beer.
Yeah. And too much peanut butter I've found, because I've used like the PB, that dehydrated peanut butter, trying to make a peanut butter beer before. Yeah. And I used the whole tub of it because I'm just like, I wasn't used to use. I'm just like, I'm going to make a peanut butter beer. I'm going to use the whole damn thing. Why not? And that beer came out tasting so sour, and I think it was based off of like just the peanut butter itself ended up souring.
Yeah, you're talking like that.
So it kind of like went kind of rancid or something.
Yeah, it just had a tanginess to it that was not proper.
Is that the peanut butter protein powder? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah. You're probably getting some proteins, literally.
Yeah.
Yeah, alpha Malaysia goes the wrong way, and you're in trouble.
Yummy.
Well, John and Neil, your job is important, but beer reviews are a little bit more important than your job. So you could always just immediately quit and then come tell us what. They had a song in 1980 saying, "Take this job and shove it. I'm not taking it anymore." So if it was me, I would throw caution to the wind and go get a job as a cashier at 7-Eleven before I would let somebody interrupt my beer review. But that's me. So let's go. I'm gonna do a little life coaching right now. What I want you to do is tell the boss, look, I understand, I get it. We need to have some convergence at the job, but really what it's about right now is giving a beer score, and I'm doing a hangout with some people, so I'm going to have to put you on the back burner, so to speak, and get back to you later on and do this beer score. Now that might not necessarily help in his advancement in that particular company.
It might stifle his growth a little in his career field.
Might stifle the growth. Might stifle his career growth in that particular firm, but it will give us a beer score.
Yeah, he was unmuted briefly. I thought he was going to say something, but
going once.
He's probably busy.
Yep, he's going twice. So
Going twice.
You gave him longer than I did.
And I'm going to call the score for him, and I'm going to base that on my assessment of his explanation of the beer. Well, he seemed very interested in the beer. He liked it. He talked about how he was pleased with how Terrapin has done a lot of interesting and exciting things before and after the buyout. He wasn't totally thrilled with it, but he was generally pleased. And I think that we're not wearing masks because we are rebels, Craig.
Yeah, don't give me. I'll go down a medical path we don't want to go down.
There we go. Are you happy now, Craig? We're in our own home, Craig.
Because of the respiratory issues that they cause. That's why.
Okay, but anyway.
I'm not wearing a mask because I'm not a bandit.
How do we drink beer with a mask on, people?
We're home by ourselves. We're not out in public.
I'm going to do this tonight for the public. But I'm going to say John would probably give that beer about a 94 out of 100.
You think? I was thinking a 91. You got me thinking, and I thought, for John, that's probably 91, 94. We'll average it, say it's a 92 and a half.
Okay.
You're wrong. You're so monstrously wrong. All right. I have even more shocking news.
Uh-oh.
Before we get off the air, I have even more shocking news. Tomorrow morning, you're right, FACP, we get a very small inkling of what they produce. We get a tease, is basically what we get. Like the Beatles said, all right, anyway, now,
She loves you, yeah.
no, I was talking about teasing. But anyway, tomorrow morning, Albertson Silver Rum.
That's a breakfast right there.
I resent that comment. And then we're going to go up against Captain Morgan White.
Oh, well, you would hope that one is going to be the winner for its price point, right?
You would hope, but sometimes you could be very tragically dismayed. And here's another thing about Captain Morgan White.
Yeah.
I found it very odd that Captain Morgan would not have had a white rum until 2014. It didn't make sense. Like, you're going to tell me this, they've been making Captain Morgan rum since like about 1946, and they didn't bother making a white rum? Like, and all those, it's like, well, that doesn't add up. Well, just goes to show you, I did some image searches, and I would say that this advertisement was probably from about 1973, and I posted that in Alcohol Eggs. And it was a white rum, and it was called Morgan White. Not Captain Morgan, but Morgan White. I said, oh, well. Just like I figured, there was a Captain Morgan White rum for decades, but it wasn't called Captain Morgan White. It was called Morgan White from Captain Morgan. Look at this maniac. Now, so there you go. That's my last comment. I have nothing else to say. So
try to drink it through the mask. Impress me. No, tip it up. Try to sip it straight through the mask. I want to see.
Hey, y'all, no joke.
No, I have this mask because it's mandatory now where I work. I have to wear a mask when I'm working. And let me tell you this. I have more problems breathing wearing this damn mask than I've ever had in my life. Especially with 12-hour shifts. It's like we're getting into like the summer months. It's like, it's stupid.
Your whole face will be sweating.
Yeah, I'm protecting my eyes right now.
I admire you for ripping your own employer on air, and I'm going to make sure I share this wide and far. But anyway, Brian is a new guy for this group, like meeting tonight. But I want to give the floor to him. So,
Okay. And what am I supposed to talk about? Just say hello, or what? A little bit about me, or
any comments to the world? Any promos for your channel?
Oh yeah. So as you can see, my name's Brian Lape with BRYONLAPE. That is actually my YouTube channel name, not the whole channel, Dad. But so if you just YouTube/Brian Lape, and you can find me. It's an eclectic array of all things that I'm interested in. I do homebrew stuff. I finally did an actual homebrew video where I was making the beer and stuff. It was okay. I got to work on my production value there. Beer reviews, fitness supplements, pop culture stuff, photography. I'm a computer nerd by trade, so I've been working from home for a while here doing programming. The dogs drive me nuts, so I also do ski in the wintertime. And yeah, I think I forget exactly how I came across Ron's channel. So when do you turn 53, by the way?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, not till next year.
Not till next year. Okay. So we're close to the same age. I'll be 52 in June. So.
Wow. We're born the same.
August.
See, me and Brian were born when the Beatles made that double album.
So, but yeah, I'm also on Untapped as Brain Muffin. So Brain MUFFIN.
Right.
So if you want to, I've got I don't even know how many check-ins anymore. I don't typically do repeats unless I'm going for a badge, but but yeah, I like craft beer. Basically, I got it in via homebrewing. So I hated commercial beer, started making my own, and then like back then, about the only thing you get craft beer in the mid '90s was Sam Adams and Anchor Steam, and that was about it.
Yeah,
especially living in Tennessee, because the government didn't have a monopoly, but their buddies did. So
yeah, Tennessee is.
What's up, Jesse
not as bad as it used to be, though. But yeah, and I live here in Cincinnati, like I said, not too far from Jungle Jim's, which has a very, very large craft beer collection. So it's nice. Selection, I should say.
I noticed about Tennessee, their liquor prices were very expensive when I was up there last year, and I was not happy about that.
Yeah. Yep, you can get about anywhere. Well, liquor you have to get at an actual liquor store. You can get the watered down stuff anywhere, but so yeah, and also depends. I mean, I was in East Tennessee when I lived, obviously around Knoxville, and of course now you have the moonshine up in Gatlinburg. So it's finally legal to make moonshine.
Woo! Yeah, but the government still gets their part on the tax.
Oh yeah. That's what they figured out. As long as they get a big percentage of it. So. But no, thank you guys for having me. I reached out to Ronald, said, hey, because I want to do actually this type of thing, exactly what we've been doing a little bit every once in a while. And he's like, hey, we're doing one tonight. So I ran off to the store to get something. So that's why I was late.
And, I appreciate you joining. And Alabama's an ABC state. And Louisiana's sort of wide open. We have gas stations that sell beer, wine, and liquor. Grocery stores. You can go to Walmart and buy liquor off the shelf like a box of cereal. Tell your little 3-year-old. You can tell your little 3-year-old, baby, go get daddy that Dewar's white label. No, get daddy the 12-year label. And then your little 3-year-old say, 12-year Dewar. But no, literally. But actually, children cannot drink beer in Louisiana or wine or liquor until they turn 12 if they're with their parents at a restaurant.
That's like Germany, where I also live. So, hey.
Right. But you got to be with your parents, either at home or a restaurant. And you can't drink in Louisiana until you're 18. But you can't buy liquor until you're 21. But anyway, you can drink. But okay, so next Wednesday is Wild Card Wednesday. So that means you can bring any beer you want. And then the next Wednesday is Wild Card. The next Wednesday is Wild Card. And then the first Wednesday in June, I'm talking about, this is my idea. Oh man, John Neely had to drop off. Damn. But he'll talk to us off air probably tomorrow and tell us what the score was. Because I know Michael Komarov. I know you're watching Michael Komarov, and I know you're writing those scores. But I'm thinking about doing Mexican beers. What do y'all think about doing Mexican beers? Any Mexican beer, doesn't matter. I don't care what brand it is. Could be craft, macro, micro, middle crow.
Right. So when you say Mexican beer, are you talking about like an actual cerveza? Like it has to come from Mexico, or are you talking like I have a
Not Mexican style, not Mexican style, whatever that's supposed to mean, because that could mean many things to many different people. But
Right.
a beer produced in Mexico, like I got Sol in the fridge.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because I mean, right now I'm drinking a jalapeno pilsner, so
I thought
it
that
could be
thing
very
tastes
interesting.
spicy.
Jalapeno don't translate necessarily into Mexican. I like
Yeah.
jalapeno, and I'm not a
sure it does. You find jalapenos in all the Mexican cuisines.
Well,
Jalapeno.
and in July, we could do a theme called summer beers. Any beer that you would drink for summer, you know, like Samuel Adams Summer Pills or Summer Ale. What is it? Summer Ale or
Yeah, summer.
Abita makes summer beer. Yeah, there's so many summer beers.
Busch Light.
Busch Light, which is apparently from what I've been reading, Busch Light. From what I've been reading, Busch Light has been selling like madness lately due to this current crisis. For some reason, people get in a panic and they say, "I'm going to die. I don't know what to do. Let's go buy 30 packs of Busch Light." So I don't know.
About 6 or 7. Don't stop at 1.
Beer saves the world once again.
I overheard some wine and liquor distributors talking today, and they were saying, "Man, we're selling wine and liquor like crazy." They said, "We met our numbers. We passed our numbers for this month." And they were like trying to say it low, like, you know, we're not supposed to be making money right now. Well, we passed our numbers, you know, their projections. So they were like saying, "Wow, we need more panics."
Really? No, thank you.
Liquor
I've
stores,
been drinking so much beer, I feel like a monk.
liquor stores are considered essential in Kansas.
Essential, yeah. In Louisiana, they had to be in Louisiana. They would have a revolution in like 10 hours.
In Kansas, too. I think Pennsylvania was the only state it wasn't considered essential.
Right. I was talking to people in Pennsylvania, so we're not allowed to buy liquor or beer or wine.
Yeah.
I said, well,
Sucks to be you.
Again.
right.
And
That
that's
would
where
be-
the domestic violence is up. If I just had a
They could
damn beer.
Oh,
They could never ban that in Louisiana. There'd be war in the streets, you know.
yeah.
But people, they would just openly violate it, you know. But anyway, I appreciate everybody joining. I'm sorry that all the peanut and nut flavored beers weren't that great, but you know, that's like I said earlier, that's kind of a risk you run with these kind of things.
Oh, mine was excellent. 95.
Yours?
That's really good.
The best one. Yeah,
Yeah, you gotta have other things other than nuts. You gotta have bananas and chocolate.
bananas and chocolate. In
Yeah.
other words,
Well,
your beer has to
I wish I'd have had that
Your beer has to
fluffy water, that peanut butter stout I got from John.
Oh yeah, that was awesome.
That was good stuff. Now, that's a total different ballgame. That's
Well,
nice.
actually, the best one was Thrash Metal when he opened that one, and he stabbed it with. He was opening the package and he slit the can open.
Oh yeah.
Oh, damn. Come on.
In other words, your beer has to be like a sundae.
Yeah, well, it is. It is kind of a dessert style, but it's a hell of a lot better than this one. I had
We're
two options. I wish I had a choice option.
Uh-oh.
At this point.
Ronald's
going
going rebel.
nomad.
He's going rebel mode here.
All right,
Daniel.
Cuzzo.
Daniel's son.
I was a
Anybody
high
check
school
you-
when that movie done come out.
Are you a blood or are you a creep?
That's a Crip. It's
Yeah,
blue. Blood is
Don't,
red.
don't try to stir up problems on the camera. All right. Anyway, so tomorrow night, if you're into liquor and attitude problems, tomorrow night is Thunder and Thursday. Thunder and Thursday. Tomorrow night at 7 Eastern, 6 Central, 5 Mountain, 4 Pacific. We're going to do Thunder and Thursday. I'll tell you already, I'm doing a rum taste challenge. I'm going to do Albertsons. I have to buy another half-size bottle because, as you can see, I'm getting low. But I'm going to do Albertsons versus Ron Pontalba. James P. Madonna is going to drink water because he's taking medicine. And anybody, you can join with anything. I've made this joke before, but it's not a joke. I said, people say, what do I have to do for Thunder and Thursday? I said, you could show up with water, coffee, lemon, sweet tea. What?
Robitussin.
Robitussin if you have a cough.
Get to a hospital.
Or an addiction. But but we want everything to be kosher here. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't show up with like illegal product. But it'll be fun. It'll be exciting. It'll be only 1 hour. Anyway, last call for comments, and then we off the air.
All right. Well, I'll throw in my 2 comments. I don't know if you want to bring this back to full panel or not, but
oh yeah, sorry. I told you I'm slipping.
I just want to answer ABC XYZ. He said, why do people put their pinkies out when they drink? I probably have diabetes, so I have no feeling in my hands half the time. So sometimes when I drink my pinky, I have no control over it, and it just sticks out when I'm drinking. But Multi Monday, the poll is saying that this upcoming Multi Monday is going to be barrel aged stouts.
Oh yeah.
Now it's going to be a stout, and it's going to be in a barrel, any barrel. It doesn't matter what barrel it is.
Damn, that's a lot of beer in a barrel. How am I going to bring a whole barrel?
Yeah, a whole barrel of beer for Multi Monday.
Pass it around,
I don't know
don't you
what
know?
day that is. I don't know what day that falls on, but it's the day after Mother's Day. So that's all. I think it's the 12th. Is it the 12th?
Yeah. Can it be like those barrel in a beer things like they do with like what you call it from Ireland, Innocent Gun, where they put the barrel in the beer, or does it have to be aged in a barrel?
Barrel
aged.
stout.
I got a little barrel and a whiskey.
However, as long as barrel's in the name and it's a stout, it works.
Okay.
Bring it. I'll do a video shortly explaining that exact same thing.
I should be able to find a barrel aged. I should be able to find a barrel aged stout. All right. Well, look. All kidding aside, we're gonna shut it off because that's time. All right, we went over an hour. All right, but not too much further. Well, thanks, folks, for watching this. I guess a bad topic. I picked a bad topic. I'll admit it. I'm sorry for keeping my face full blown. And I've talked about that before, where I'll have my face blown up, and I'm really just listening to everybody talk. And I'm like, oh, okay, they're talking. And I forget that it's that way, So always feel free to interrupt me immediately and let me know that. Because I'm usually listening to my own show more than I'm part of the show. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I start listening to it like a radio show, and I forget that I'm part of it. In a way, it's strange. So thanks, folks. Cheers, Eric.
See ya.
And
47 straight stole my joke.
Road.
It was nice meeting you tonight, Brian.
Yeah, good to meet you guys.
Channel
Yes,
Day.
Joke.